woman. That's the condition of the Muslim Ummah. That's exactly it. Celebrate too early. We had Spain for 781 years, and we lost it. We went to Spain in 2020, right before COVID rocked the world. We were in Spain. We're in a palace called Al-Hamra. We were there. It's got 896 pillars. There's nothing like it in the world of its kind. We went there. I personally went to take a picture. So to get a very nice picture, I was trying to kneel down to get a picture of the group. The security guard ran and grabbed me. He said, "No, you're not allowed to pray." I said, "I'm not trying to pray. I'm trying to take a picture, if that's okay." He says, "Oh, you can take the picture, but you can't make salat in this place." What was ours for 781 years? You tell us now we can't pray here. Yeah, that's the condition of the Muslim Ummah. So anyways, I don't know how he selected those verses to read. I was thinking at the beginning, why is he reading verses on fulfilling your promise? But now it makes sense. Good job. So, number one. Number two, there was something else that was in my mind. Yes, we have a job. Every single one of us has a job. Those of us that are 9 years old, 29 years old, or 69 years old. Like one of our teachers said, if you're newlywed or nearly dead, we all have a job. What's the job? We have to try to make this theme so cool. Make it so approachable. Make it so relevant. Make it so awesome that everybody should want to join the club. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, not just Islam. Abu Lubaba was a Christian. He was a non-Muslim. Or he was an idol worshiper. I can't even remember what he was. But he was far from being a Muslim. They caught him. They captured him. They brought him to Masjid and they tied him to one of the pillars. If you go to Medina Munawwara now, there's a pillar there. And on these pillars, in the original Masjid Nabawi, the actual premises, there's a name given to each one of the pillars. So if you go with somebody who knows these things and who can tell you these things and doesn't just show you that there's date palms everywhere. We don't care about the date trees in Medina. We want to know about Masjid Nabawi alayhi salatu wasalam. This one specific pillar is named after Abu Lubaba, this man who was tied in Masjid Nabawi for 3 days. The Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba, you're going to take care of him and you're going to treat him better than you treat yourselves. When you give him food, give him the best of your food. Don't anybody dare say anything negative to him. Don't cuss at him. Don't say anything. We know what he's done. He was an arch enemy of Islam. No problem. That's history. Today he's with us. We're going to treat him nicely and I'll extend to him our hospitality. 3 days. That's all his sentence. 3 days. After 3 days, untie him. He's to be released. They released him. He goes to an orchard. He leaves Masjid Nabawi. He makes wudu. He comes right back. The Prophet ﷺ said, Abu Lubaba, what are you doing? He said, I want to become a Muslim. He says, what? We just let you out of prison. I want to come back to Islam. I've never seen something like this in my life. If this is what you people teach and preach, I want to join the club. This job that we have, try to understand what I'm saying, is so tough. But it's everybody. Turn that off. Oh, Khudaya. So, yeah, taking photos and making videos in one thing. When we start playing ringtones, then we gotta, but yeah. I think they're all here, Mona? Because there's still some people, we don't hear them running, right?
Say it again.
Is anybody running in some other?
No, that's
okay.
fine. Yeah.
So our job is to make this deen so beautiful. It's as beautiful as it can be, but to present it to the people so beautifully that everybody is just completely awe-stricken. Like, whoa, this is Islam? So you know Ibrahim alayhi salam is one of the 5 great prophets. There are 5 great prophets. Every single prophet that came into this world was extremely great. Of all of the different creations Allah has created, there's the animals, the reptiles, there's the insects, the birds, there's the Ya'juj, Ma'juj, there's the Satuj, Ma'luq, and then there's the human beings. You've never heard of those. Then there's the jinn. Before them there's the hin. Before them, there's the bin.
Wow.
You never heard of these?
Subhanallah.
Yeah, these are different creations. We just know human beings. And
Angel.
that too. We're all human beings, but none of us are being human. May Allah forgive us. Anyways, so what happens? From all of these creations, there's the humankind. That is the best of Allah's creation, the human beings. From the human beings, there are those who believe. From the believers, there are the Anbiya. Anbiya is the plural of Nabi. Nabi. Anbiya is the plural of Nabi. Keep this in mind, messengers. From the Anbiya, there are the Rusul. Okay? Rasul, the plural, is Rusul. Every single Nabi that came was not a Rasul. Only certain prophets and messengers had their own messages or books or scriptures with which Allah sent them into this world. They are called the Rusul. They're higher than the Nabi. So obviously every Rasul is a Nabi, but not every Nabi was a Rasul. But Anbiya are still great. Then from the Rusul, there are 5, which are the greatest. They are Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, and Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These are the 5 greatest prophets of all time. So, from these 5, then there's the chief of all the prophets, of all the Rasuls, of the 5 greatest Rasul, there's the one. And nobody holds that status. It is second to none. There's not a human, not a prophet, not a Nabi, not a Rasul that holds the status that is enjoyed by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But from amongst those 5 is the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam used to call the people towards Allah. And it wasn't easy for him. It wasn't like this. You make a poster, you send up the poster with the most horrendous, but it's okay. 100 people still show up. It wasn't this easy for him. He grew up in a home where idols were being sculptured and made and created. Ibrahim a.s. was born into a home where his dad used to make idols. Imagine, it's not easy. But he grew up, he faced the music, and Allah blessed him with such steadfastness. Allahu Akbar. So nonetheless, his father couldn't have it. Azar was like, I'm done with this kid. What's he doing? I'm running out of business. Nobody's going to come and worship my idols. Nobody's going to listen to what I have to tell them. Everybody's going to start following him. We need to get rid of him for once and for all. How? Throw him in a fire. Yeah. Not just any ordinary fire that you make in a bonfire when you go camping. No, no. A fire so big, any bird flying by was roasted and falls inside. It was massive. They couldn't just grab him. 2 big Kandaris couldn't just throw him inside. No. They had to catapult him, you know, from a distance, and then to throw him inside of this fire. Imagine what this thing must be like. Nonetheless, the fire is made. Ibrahim alayhi salam is put. Oh my God. Imagine. The greatest human being in the world, not just a human, but one of the 5 greatest human beings the sun has ever risen on. Imagine him being tied. Imagine him being catapulted. Allah doesn't see this. Allah, oh man, imagine. But anyways, he's here. They fling him. Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Let these people do what they need to do. They plot their evil plot. They scheme their evil plan. Allah is enough for me. Allah is enough for us. Allah is more than enough. They fling him inside. Allah tells the fire, hey, today you're going to do a different job. Normally what does fire do? It burns. No, listen, fire, I'm going to give you a different job today. Today you're going to become bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. Become cool. Become peaceful. Because one of my very special friends is on his way. Don't ask how he's going to make it there. He's going to make it there. And once he gets there, oh, you better take good care of him. Who's controlling the fire? Allah. Who gives the fire the quality to burn? Allah. And when Allah wants, He gives that same quality. He gives the same fire the quality to become cool and peaceful. Ibrahim alayhi salam is thrown inside. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions this is in Qasasul Anbiya. If anybody wants evidence. You know what Azar said when he saw him inside the fire? Azar saw Ibrahim alayhi salam inside the fire from a distance, chilling. It's like, we're trying to roast this guy and toast this guy and burn him to ashes. This man's enjoying his life. He's never seen what's going on here. We wanted him to get rid of him. But whoa, what's going on? So Azar to himself said, Ni'ma Rabbuk, Rabbuka ya Ibrahim. He goes, whoa, what an excellent Lord you have, oh Ibrahim. Until now, he wants to throw him in the fire. Why? Because he's calling people towards Allah. What did Azar just say? What an excellent Allah that you have. Is this how He takes care of you? This is the guy you're calling us to? What an excellent Lord He is. That's our job. We're supposed to make Allah so amazing. We're supposed to present Allah. I spoke to somebody who were having dinner at some place just like 2 hours ago. Allah tried this man. Allah tested this man. Allah's brought this man. He's still, I saw him after years, and he still has $1 million smile on his face, and he keeps attributing greatness to Allah. He says, I was there, but now I'm here, but Allah is great. You know how tough that is? When everything's good, it's easy, Allah is great. When everything is against you, when all odds are against you, when you've lost practically everything, when you were just trying and tested and Allah's still great, you're the man. To be able to attest to this, to be able to utter these words and proclaim this, when you've lost, that's legendary. That's something you salute. That's something that's very rare. That's right. But there are people there that are so we remember Allah when everything is good, so Allah remembers us when things are tough. We tend to forget Him. We need to remember Allah so much. We talk about Him so much. We present Him to the people so amazingly and lovingly, with such conviction and yaqeen, that everybody's like, yo, I want to get to know this Allah. I want to know what it's like if Allah shows me a little something. It'd be nice to experience what Allah is all about. We're supposed to speak about the Prophet ﷺ so much, that no matter which celebrity, which superstar, which soccer player or athlete in the world was shown to us, presented to us, whose stats lie before us, it doesn't matter. This doesn't faze me. It doesn't tickle my fancy. Why? Because I looked up to somebody, or I look up to somebody, and I'll continue looking up to somebody, the likes of which the world will never produce. We have such a role model, we have such a guide, such a teacher and a mentor, that the whole world will not be able to produce somebody the likes of him, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we don't. Sadly, we don't. We see how we dress, we see how kids in Scarborough they walk and how they talk, and how pathetic. Wallahi al-Azim, it is, I'm so sorry, it's absolutely pathetic though. If it was worthy of praise, if it was something that deserves to be mimicked or copycat, why not? You really want to look like who? Who? Imagine. To not look like the Prophet, you opted to look like this? Maybe if you had something else that was semi-presentable or semi-decent, but no, it's not. I don't want to continue talking like this, it's harsh. But know that we don't talk about the Prophet ﷺ, we don't learn about him, we don't spread his message, we don't live by his lifestyle as much as we're supposed to. It's why we're so easily influenced by somebody else. It's why the words of somebody else, or the albums of somebody else, oh my goodness. Yeah, anyways, why these things so easily impact our lives? Because we know very little, next to nothing, about the life of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I guarantee you, if you knew his life, you would not aspire to be like anybody else. There's no greater injustice than doing so. You know the life of the Prophet ﷺ. You know every single little detail of every moment and incident and episode in his life. And you're going to give that a blind eye and try to be like some other hero. Try to be like some other superstar. Who is super to the Prophet ﷺ? Aspire to be like his companions if his level is way too high. His Sahaba radiallahu anhum. وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. They were all amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I just wish we would probably do this every single week. We're not going to. There will be other classes and other darses and lectures that will take place. I'm just going to share with you one episode in the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then it'll be a wrap. One single episode. So he's not fond of the things that people do. And to find people like this amongst me and you is next to impossible. I saw just the other day, there was a group of girls walking from school. Was it lunchtime at Dhuhr, or was it was Asr time? I think it was after school. Regardless, it was one of the prayer times. I was going to the Masjid myself, so it was obviously one of the prayer times. So I saw this group of girls walking, maybe 5, 6, or 7 in number, and they're walking. All of a sudden, one of them decides to part from the pack. They continue walking ahead when this one goes right into the masjid. That's it. That's all I saw. That was more than enough to shake me. You know how hard this is? You know how difficult this is? When not one of your friends that you're walking to, you probably have lunch with, you chill with, you ride with, and everything with, they all continue walking. They didn't even wait. They just said, okay, you do your thing, we do ours. They continue walking and moving on with their life. This one says, I've got something far more important in my life at this time. Allah is waiting for me. Excuse my French, the hell with you. Y'all go where you need to go. I've got something far more important in my life that I need to deal with at this point in time. Peace. They continue walking. She makes off to the masjid. That's exactly what we need. We need black sheep. We need outcasts. Because the Prophet ﷺ said so. He said, Bada al-Islamu ghariba. Islam began strange. When it was presented to them, whoa, Muhammad, what are you talking about? We've got one God. We've been worshiping 360 idols till now. One God. Whoa, that's high. What are you talking about? One. At least give us 50% off. You know, we cut it down to what's that? 150? I don't even know. But anyways, we cut it down to maybe 180 or something. That makes sense. You want to go to one. You mad. I'll translate. I'm paraphrasing, translate. You crazy. You lost your mind. This is strange. Whoa, you crazy? One. That's exactly what needs to happen now. Whoa, you want to wear a hijab? Ooh, 2022, girl. You're gonna cover your hair. Oh, you're gonna go to the mosque? Mosque? What are you gonna do? Saturday night? You're gonna come to the mosque? Man, you got no life. You got no life. You come to the mosque on a Saturday night? This is being a black sheep. This is what we need. Because the Prophet said, when it began with Hamza radiallahu anhu and Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, you know when Hamza and Umar became Muslim, oh my goodness, did the Sahaba celebrate. The very few that had accepted Islam. Umar is 52 to accept Islam, for the record. Either 47 or number 52. Umar became Muslim, number 52. But he made it to number 2, greatest of all time. Radiallahu anhu. Imagine how happy the Muslims may have been. Must have been at that time. Umar is a Muslim, they came away. No, we want to mess with this now? We got Umar, we got Hamza, what? It was strange. It was completely, whoa, what is this Islam? What are these people talking about? They doing these strange up, down, kiss the ground type of worship. What is this? It's going to come back. And it's going to return exactly the same. And if any one of you, I wish you have, but if any one of you has ever heard anything of this nature from any of your friends or from your family members, yes, you're on the way to success, to like eternal success. If Allah grants you that istiqamah and that steadfastness, or you're going in the absolute right direction, where everybody, you know, we have people doing the wrong thing, and people ask them, what are you doing? You know, when your dad tells you, what are you doing? Son, I raised you 18 years, 21 years. This is what you turned into. I'm being nice. We know what some of our parents have already told us. May Allah save us. I'm being very decent. Yeah, and these sentiments, oh man. A parent knows exactly what it is that I'm referring to at this time. We need to do the opposite of this. Not necessarily that people will consider us the black sheep, but do so much good that people start saying, what's wrong with this guy? The Prophet ﷺ said, you remember Allah so much, you think about Allah so much. I actually have one friend. And all the people I've met in my life, I know one friend, and one or two of us here, we know him too. Every time I meet him, I see him, I greet him, he talks about Allah. To some people, I don't think many people talk to him to begin with, because he's already mad. He's lost his mind. Like, damn, you don't have anything else to talk about? Allah, 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 Allah. Of course he does it with praise of Allah and thanking Allah. And, always ascribing greatness to Allah. That's it. So the Prophet ﷺ said, اذكروا ذكر الله حتى يقولوا مجنون. Remember Allah, talk about Allah, always Allah, praising Allah, until people say, leave him. This one, he's got nothing now. You find out and get married, he didn't even finish school, he's a waste man. In our time, a waste man. He's got nothing else to talk about. All he talks about is Allah. He's a waste man. So the Prophet ﷺ came to the masjid. Well, I'll tell you, waste man. He came to the masjid. And he saw the Sahaba. And some of them barely have sufficient clothes with which they can cover their bodies. Some of them had a single loincloth. What most of us, I think every one of us is wearing right now is called pants. A loincloth is what some Bengali people wear called a lungi. Yeah. So some of these Sahaba are wearing lungis. They don't have pants. They're wearing a single lungi. They're sitting in Masjid Nabawi. Their awra is covered. That part of their body that must be covered is covered. So the Prophet ﷺ comes to them and asks them, hey, why are you all here for? And they say, we just came, we're just remembering Allah and he goes, okay. I didn't ask you because I doubted what you were doing. No, never. I don't doubt you folks. You know why? I came to you just now because Allah revealed to me, to the paragon of Allah's creation, to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه. Go, O Muhammad, and go find those people that remember Allah in the morning and in the evening. Go sit with them. Wallahi, to the people of that time, these individuals that I just spoke about with barely any clothes on their bodies are the lowest of waste men. They don't even have a class in their society. But guess what? Who's just been ordered to come sit in their company? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yeah, we've twisted everything. We have to make it so amazing, so beautiful, because it's as beautiful as can be. Islam is just so pure and wholesome. We made it like, yeah, you go to the masjid, I'll call you after. Yeah, once you're done, you can holler at me. What? You don't want to come to my program, I'm going to come to yours. And what program is it that you have that's so significant that you don't want to attend mine? Mine is in the masjid where Allah has spoken, where Salah is prayed behind the Imam in the masjid with Jama'ah. What's your program that's greatest? We were supposed to make this the greatest, because it is the greatest. Wallahi, in all of Toronto right now as I speak, unless there's another gathering that resembles this one, there's no gathering where the angels just flock to it. Like, they don't just come one by one. I see a gathering, let's go check it out. One of the angels in the heavens tells the other, no. Let me tell you how it works. The moment this gathering begins, the angels, there's a light that radiates from here to the heavens. And every angel in the heavens sees this, and they just rush towards it. And they literally fight with one another to see which one of them can hover above us the closest. And they continue like this. Imagine I just throw a suitcase in the middle of this gathering with $1 million in it. We're not just going to sit there and be like, yeah, whoever wants it can take it. No. We know exactly what's going to happen. Kind of like the toilet paper issue when COVID just started. That's how we found out exactly how human we were afterwards. So that's what we find out how human we were. Anyhow, so that's what these angels do when these gatherings take place. Wallahi al-Azim. The hadith is in Bukhari and Tirmidhi and NASSER. It's all across. So what happens? They continue like this until they get to they get to Allah in the heavens. Allah asks them, hey, where are y'all coming from? Allah knows everything. Where y'all coming from? Hey, there's this gathering taking place in Subhan Islamic Association where all these people are sitting and you're being spoken about and this. Allah says, nice. What do these people want? Why are they here on a Saturday night? They could have been doing a lot of other things. Why they choose to come to this gathering? Well, Allah, they want Jannah. And what don't they want? Like, what do they seek protection and refuge from? Well, Allah, they don't want hell, that's for sure. Allah says to the angels, you be my witness. Jannah is theirs and Jahannam is haram. Wallahi al-Azim, this happened. If there's any gathering in the GTA, let's all just get up with all our cars. Let's pack our cars and the buses too. Let's all just go there now. Let's go. But there isn't. There isn't. We don't understand what this is all about. That's why our dads might force us to come. Or for some of us, it's like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, really? Go back to the masjid? Yeah. There are people that know this stuff and are crazy about it. They would have missed a salat in the masjid if their life depended on it. Why? Because they know what it's all about. We haven't given it that importance. Unfortunately, to us, it's just like a second thought. Yeah, maybe, if I don't have anything else to do. The Prophet ﷺ, everything that was going on during his time, he wasn't liking it. These people are worshipping idols. The hadith of Imam Bukhari. And idol worship is rampant. It's prevalent. It's everywhere. And the Prophet ﷺ doesn't like it. So what he decides to do is go hiding. حُبِّبَ إِلَيْهِ الْخَلَاءُ. He goes into isolation, seclusion. And he goes, hides in this cave. In a cave called Hira. And he's inside of this cave called Hira. And he just loves to be there all by himself. Because he's sick of the people's practices. Like, who worships an idol? Really, idol? مَا لَا يَنْفَعُكُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَضُرُّكُمْ. It doesn't help you. You talk to it, it's not going to respond to you. You slap it, it breaks and falls down. You're going to worship this thing. It doesn't harm, it doesn't benefit, it does nothing. They used to put food in front of it, this food goes bad. The flies come and eat the food, and the idol still sits there like doing nothing. Anyways, the Prophet was like, nah, this idol worship? No. And he used to go into Hira. He loved it. Allah had made it beloved to him. This is before he becomes a prophet. He's approximately 40 years old at this time. And 40, by the way, is an age where a person is complete. 40, Allah speaks about 40 in the Holy Quran. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ وَبَلَغَ 40 سَنَةً. Until a person reaches spiritual perfection and he reaches the age of 40. Every Nabi that came into this world was blessed with Nubuwwah after 40, but Jesus. Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam is an exception. He died before 40 as well. He was lifted in heaven before 40 as well. So he's 33 approximately. When he comes back, he'll come back. So, the Prophet ﷺ was 40. And this is when you're spiritually and physically, like the apt. Your aptitude, your ability is the highest at this point in a person's life. For those that make it to the age of 40. So, some people live longer, some people don't. When we were young, we were living in Ottawa. And when we were living in Ottawa, this is when we had just moved to Toronto. And my dad one day was giving us some targheeb, like giving us a pep talk. Your dad sits you down and he tells you, Zoya, listen, I need to talk to you. So he was doing one of those things with us. Me and my older brother, my oldest brother. The young two, they weren't born. I don't think they were. But anyways, us three. Me, Bilal, Maulana Bilal, Hafiz Khalid, and me. So we're sitting there, my dad's talking. Don't tell Hafiz Khalid this, but anyways. So we're sitting there, we're talking, my dad's talking, we're listening, we have our heads down. Typical, you just act like you care. Astaghfirullah. But yeah, we're just sitting there listening. And my dad was like, you know what? You people will understand exactly it is what I'm referring to and what I'm trying to tell you about after I die. Once I die, you people will know what I'm talking about. My dad's dad, my grandfather, paternal grandfather, died. Exact count we don't know, but if I'm being nice, he was 117 years old. My dad's dad. Keep that in mind. Now try to understand back to the story. So my dad said to us, when I die, you people will remember me. You people will know what I'm talking about. So my oldest brother said, but Dad, when are you going to die? Your dad died at 117.
Long time.
He's still strong, man. He's going, Allah give him a long enough. Some people live for longer than 40, but if you made it to 40, you made it to the acme. That's it. Spiritually and physically, that's the highest you're going to get. Allah refers to it. Anbiya alayhimus salam, the same. Nonetheless, at the age of 40, he's in isolation, seclusion. He loves this. The worship, the acts of worship that he carries out, because no salat has come down to the ummah until then, is probably similar to the practices of Ibrahim alayhi salam's worship. Nonetheless, he's inside there. He used to meditate. He used to, Prophet alayhi salam, really enjoyed this time that he would spend. He would take provisions with him, he would take food with him, he would go for a few days, then come back. Has anybody been up Ghari Hira? 1, 2, 3. 3 of us.
I wish. I really wish.
We all will, inshallah. Whoa! 3 of us have been to Ghari Hira. The Prophet ﷺ used to do this regularly for 6 months. Well, it'll take you a couple of hours to go and a couple of hours to come down, but he used to go up with his food, come down when the food was done, come see Khadija radiallahu anha, check up on her, everything's good. Sometimes she would come, go up, deliver the food, come back down. How you gonna, you need to experience this. Make intention. Next time you go for Umrah, inshallah, because everything is easy. I went to Umrah from Dubai, just because I wanted to go. I had no intention. I was in Dubai, so I decided to go. When I got there, my Umrah visa was expired 9 days ago. I said, before, you have to give your passport to the travel agency. You have to give sadaqah, make dua, and cry. 2 weeks later, you might get a phone call, you might not. Now I got to Saudi with no visa. I tried with my expired visa. They said, no, it's not going to work. It's expired. I said, please, it's okay. They said, no. I said, how do I get a new one? I'm already here. They said, just turn around. There's a machine, the kiosk. You put in the money, the visa comes out. I mean, you answer a few questions, and that too, I just made up an address. I didn't even think I was going to be there, I just went. This is like a few weeks, like 9 weeks ago or something. But anyways, so it's very easy to go now. Nobody's got any excuse not to go anymore. We should all go. And when you go to see these places. Go to Hira. Small little cave. Rasulullah just loved this. Hadith al-Bukhari. Allah made this beloved to him. Because everybody out there was just nonsense. They were worshiping idols. They were doing this and that. He's like, no, I don't want this. I want this. After 6 months, we know what happens. An angel comes to him. And this angel has come to him for the first time in this form. And he tells him, he's got something with him. He has a book that's covered in silk. It's decked out with gems and stones. And he makes him feel at ease. And he makes him feel comfortable. This is the Hadith al-Bukhari. According to another narration, he first already gave him the glad tidings that you are indeed the messenger of Allah, to get him ready for what's about to happen. After that, he sat him up and he told him, read. Oh, he said, Ma ana biqari. I can't read. Whoa. So there's 2 things here. 1, he's not being taught by any human being. He is unlettered or illiterate. He's not being taught to read and write. And 2, he's shook. Whoa! Imagine you see an angel Jibreel. One wing cover the entire eastern horizon. You see Jibreel, an angel from like the agency, the emissary between Allah and His prophets, like the chosen, the trusted angel Jibreel. Comes to you, tells you, read. When we go camping, we go to these cliffs, the Killarney. Anybody been to Killarney? Yeah, I've been to Hira. You go, you've been, my man. You know those cliffs I'm talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to go there one day. Maulana, we're going to go in the summer, we're all going to go to Killarney. So there's these, I don't know, they look like they're man-made, but they're natural, I'm assuming. So we jump off of these cliffs. When you get to the top, you're like, oh, mama, I can't do it, I can't do it. You keep saying you can't do it, but you can. Just jump. I mean, good luck, but just jump. So the Prophet said, I can't. He was awe-stricken, like, whoa, what's going on? Anyways, Jibreel alayhi salam said, okay. He grabbed him and he squeezed him until the Prophet alayhi salam said, I thought my life was over. And then he released him. He's trying to transfer everything, that spirituality. He is Jibreel alayhi salam. He's not just an angel. He is the chief of the angels that's squeezing a human being. So he's transferring. You know this is real. It's called faith. It's called spiritual wisdom. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, the hadith of Imam Bukhari. Both, this and the next one are both from Bukhari. The second one is on volume 1, page 22. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, I came to the Prophet alayhi wasallam, and he made dua for me. What dua? He struck my chest, and he said, Allahumma allimhu al-kitab wa faqihhu fi din. Allah, teach him your book, i.e. the Quran, and give him a deep understanding of the deen. He's the greatest commentator of the Quran of all time. One dua of the Prophet ﷺ got him the highest ranking. He struck him on the chest. This is called spiritual wisdom. He transferred something into Ibn Abbas, the likes of which could not be transferred by anything or anybody else. Abu Hurairah, volume 1, page 22 is this one. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu came to the Prophet ﷺ, he complained to him. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I can't remember too well. My memory, it ain't the strongest. I want to be able to retain everything that I hear from you. The Prophet ﷺ said, okay, Abu Hurairah, take off your shawl. He was wearing a chadar. He said, take it off, a shawl. Put it on the ground. Hadith al-Bukhari, don't question me afterwards. The Prophet ﷺ made the act of cupping his hands and poured 2 handfuls onto his shawl. No hadith mentions what it was that he poured because nobody knows. He just did this once and twice. He said, Abu Hurairah, put it on. Put it back on. Volume 1, page 22. And what happened? Abu Hurairah said, I've never forgotten anything that I've memorized from that day. What did he become? Number 1 in narrating a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's called faith. That's what Jibreel did with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam. He's transforming. Imagine what it's like. But once wasn't enough. He told him the second time, read. He says, Ma ana biqari. I can't. No. It's okay. A second time. The third time he tells him, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord that created. Khalaqa al-insana min alaq. Created man, human, from a clot. Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram. Read, and your Lord is most gracious. Alladhi allama bil-qalam. That taught by means of the pen. Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. Taught man that which he knew not. The ulama mentioned something amazing here. There's 2 types of knowledge. There's the knowledge that you get when you go to school and college. There's this knowledge that you get from books and pens. So Allah made reference to that. He said, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ إِقْرَأْ وَرَبُّكَ الْأَكْرَمُ الَّذِي عَلَّمَ بِالْقَلَمِ. Taught, Allah taught by means of the pen. That's the book and the pen. And then there's عَلَّمَ الْإِنسَانَ مَا لَمْ يَعْلَمْ. There's that knowledge which Allah teaches, which He knows not. This is ilm kitabi, from the books, the pens. Ilm kitabi. This is ilm ladunni. This is a whole different realm. This is divine. This is from Allah. Spiritually, Allah blesses it. وَكَانَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكَ عَظِيمًا. Allah gives it. وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمْ. Allah taught you what you knew not. There are people in life, you may have experienced this or not, I'm not exactly sure. When they were in school, in terms of being book smart, they were unfortunately not so smart, to be nice. They weren't so smart. But later on, Allah blessed them immensely. This knowledge which they got that is not found in books and they didn't get through pens and schooling and education system, that's ilm ladunni. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nonetheless, so Jibreel alayhi salam, after this the 3rd time, squeezes him, lets him go, and that's it, disappears. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he runs home for his life. And he comes home to his wife. And he tells Khadija radiallahu anha, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, wrap me up, cover me in a blanket, put something on me now. She waits for him. She's calm. She knows 15 years ago I made the decision of marrying this man because I knew indeed he was something very special. For the record, Khadija radiallahu anha herself in all of Makkah was as special as can be from the womanfolk. And now when she was attracted to the most special of Allah's creation, she knows she made the right decision, but this is only going to cement the decision that she's made. I know, nothing's wrong. Fine, I'll wrap you up. Just calm down, okay, sure. She wraps him up, waits for him. When the Prophet ﷺ is able to say something, she says, oh no, I fear for my life. I don't know what's going to happen. Khadija radiallahu anha says, Kalla, don't worry about it. Wallahi la yukhzika Allahu abad. Allah is not going to disgrace you. It's okay, what happened? Now that he wants to narrate, she's going to soothe and pacify and comfort him. The Prophet ﷺ says, this is what happened. He came, he ordered me to read, squeezed, released, repeat, second and the third time, and then he just disappeared. Don't worry, Allah is going to take care of you. إنك لتصل الرحم وتصدق الحديث وتحمل الكل وتقتل الضيف وتعين على نوائب الحق. She starts praising the Prophet ﷺ for qualities that were found in him that were remarkable, but they're all related to his acts of character, not acts of worship. It's his upright conduct. You speak the truth, you help people when help is needed, you aid and assist them, you maintain ties of family relationship, and anytime anybody has come to you with any needs, you fulfill their needs. And she goes on praising the Prophet ﷺ. And then she decides, you know what, I'm going to go to my cousin, a man by the name of Waraqa bin Nawfal. Waraqa was a very knowledgeable man. Waraqa was a Christian. Waraqa, according to ulama, was a Hanif. A Hanif is somebody who believed before the Prophet ﷺ was commissioned with Nubuwwah. So they were from a different era, or maybe the same era, but before the Prophet ﷺ could come to them with Islam and present it to them. Like the 7 sleepers in the cave, or like Hashim ibn Abdul Muttalib, or Hashim, the son of Abdul Manaf, or Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ. We believe Zayd ibn Amr is another one, and Waraqa bin Nawfal is another one. These are all Hanifs. They were believers even before the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Nonetheless, so Waraqa bin Nawfal, he was blind at that time. He was also very old. He's the cousin of Khadija. He was busy. He had great knowledge of the Old and the New Testament. He was busy translating the New Testament at that time from Syriac or Syriac to Arabic. Syriac is a language that was spoken in Mesopotamia, which is between Syria and Iraq. So you won't forget Syria, Iraq. So that language, he's translating the New Testament of the Bible from that to Arabic at the time. And Khadija comes to him alone. And she narrates to him everything that the Prophet ﷺ had narrated to her. And then he says, if everything you're telling me is the truth, then the same angel he refers to as a namus. Namus in Arabic, or that language in the Hadith of Bukhari, refers to a giver of glad tidings. This is the same angel that came to Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. He refers to Isa because he himself is a Christian, and we know Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam is the prophet. So, after this, Khadija radiallahu ta'ala goes back and she tells the Prophet alayhi salam, come, I want you to meet somebody and I want you to tell them yourself whatever transpired and you encountered inside that cave. So, have you been holding it the whole time? You should have told me. Oh, I'm sorry. We finished now. Just for you, we're going to finish. So, you should have. Why don't you narrate the story to him yourself? She takes him to Waraqa. Waraqa listened to the man himself. The Prophet ﷺ speaks. That's when Waraqa tells him, I wish I'm alive at the time when people will kick you out of your town. Huh? Everything was awesome until now. What? People kick me out of my town. People kick me. You know what they refer? He didn't say this. But you know what they refer to him as in Mecca? As-Sadiq al-Amin. The most truthful, the most trustworthy. And all of a sudden, with all due respect, this old man's telling me about me being forced to exile. They're going to kick me out of my town. He says, oh yeah, but don't worry. It's all good. It's not just you that kick out. Everybody that ever came with the same message that you come with, they were all kicked out of town. So you just, another one. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to kick you out. If I live to see that day, أَنْصُرُكَ نَصْرًا مُؤَزَّرًا Hadith al-Bukhari, I would help you a great help. This, the ulama say, is proof that he was a believer. He said that if I live to see the time when he is commissioned as a prophet, I would be a very great help to him. Nonetheless, it's the hadith that's found in Uyun al-Athar, I believe. Some said that Waraqa bin Nawfal kissed the Prophet ﷺ too, before the Prophet ﷺ went back. Anyways, the point that I want to make, the story stops here. I'm really sorry for you. If we're going to continue this story, it's going to take 154 hours. This is just the first part of the story. So the story is done. I really apologize. But listen, what did Waraqa tell him at the end? You're going to get kicked out. What did I start with? You got to become a black sheep. Black sheep. They're gonna tell you, what's this? What are you doing? Why are you dressed like this? What are you going to the masjid for? Who goes to the masjid, man? Yeah. It's okay. He is about to, I wish I could tell you the whole story. Of course I can. It's impossible. This is just the beginning of the story. When he actually gets, not just kicked out of Makkah, he looks back. He says, ooh, yeah, Makkah. Ma atyabuki, how beautiful you are. Ma a'zamu hurmatuki, how honored you are in the eyes of Allah. These people never forced me, I would have never abandoned you. We're giving up the sunnah of the Prophet for nonsense. He's giving up the Ka'batullah Sharifa for the deen of Allah because he has to migrate where he can worship Allah in peace. So become a black sheep. That's the end.
We'll continue inshallah. We'll wait to invite him and we'll continue inshallah.
Short and sweet. Jazakallah khair.
7:10.
So, almost 1 hour.
Here, put your hand up.
Jazakallah khair. Let's go home. It's tired.
No, you say 15, you should. I asked what? No. Yeah, bismillah.
Sorry, brothers, if they have any questions, Shoaib can ask.
You have a question?
So,
Why not?
did the term Allah exist in the Arabic language before Islam, or it came later?
It existed before Islam. You asked if the term, but these are philosophical questions. Now you're about to eat pizza, my friend. It's not from the art above. No, ask, you got, yeah.
Did Musa alayhi salam actually punch?
Did Musa alayhi salam punch another guy from the Bani Israel? Yes, he did. Allah said, فَوَكَزَهُ مُوسَى
He
فَقَضَى
also
عَلَيْهِ.
punched the angel of death, Israel.
Oh, that's weak.
That's weak.
So it sounds nice.
Right?
You know, sadly, a lot of these things that do sound really nice, a lot of them, they come from the Israelis. They come from the Jews and Christians. So we don't say it's completely false, nor do we say it's completely true. Remember that. The Prophet ﷺ said, حَدِّثُوا عَنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ وَلَا حَرَجٍ. You can say these stories, no problem. وَلَا نُصَدِّقُوهُمْ وَلَا نُكَذِّبُوهُم. We don't say 100% they're false, we don't say 100% they're true. It's possible. But again, anything we must know, we need to know, Allah has informed us. That's not in the gray area. So like, if somebody asks, what was the color of the tail of the dog in the cave? Who cares?
Right?
What kind of questions? Yeah.
I had a question. Do
Louder.
when Prophet Muhammad says a message to people, do we try to tell people that message?
Yes, we absolutely. That's exactly what we live to do. We live to see, to share with every single human being everything the Prophet said, did, or liked. That is classified or called his sunnah. Everything he said, did, or liked. Like, you know, right now the World Cup is going on. That's one thing they're doing, which is remarkable. They have all in the stadiums. They have these QR codes that are set up for the people. When you scan the QR code, it takes you to a hadith of the Prophet, a saying of the Prophet ﷺ. That is a remarkable thing they're doing. This is the highest praised sports event in the world, and they're introducing the Prophet ﷺ. They began with the recitation of the Holy Quran. There's sayings of the Prophet ﷺ in every stadium. We were there like 8 weeks ago before the World Cup started. But they spend a little bit too much money on it.
Yeah.
Only 220 billion.
Canada should have had that game, man. That was
But it's okay. They're smart. It's not just for now.
They're
They're thinking in the long term. Yeah.
So, for the cousin of Khadija radiallahu ta'ala, he testified that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger. Is it? So, does it mean that he will be considered as a Muslim?
Yes. Yes. This is the point that I wanted to make, but I didn't want to take too long. I was told to speak till 8:10, by the way. Anyways, so yes, Waraqa bin Nawfal is a believer. whether we include him in the list of Hanifs, or the first or second believer, by the way, from the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. Because when Khadija radiallahu anha, according to one narration, when she heard from the Prophet ﷺ, whatever had happened, she said, I bear witness by the Lord who has my life in his hands that you are the messenger of Allah. Everybody agrees. Hafidh ibn Hajar Asqalani said this in Fath al-Bari, in the commentary of Bukhari. She is definitely the first believer in the Prophet ﷺ. Khadija radiallahu anha. And the second believer is actually this man, Waraqa bin Nawfal, her cousin. And then we know from amongst the men, is who? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And from the young boys, Ali radiallahu anhu. And from the slaves, Zayd bin Harith radiallahu anhu. Good job.
So that is I have part B of the question. So in that case, if someone testifies now that like Christian or other, yes, Prophet is the messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger. It means they become Muslims too.
If they believe in Allah and the Prophet ﷺ is the messenger of God, we hope they make it to Jannah. Absolutely. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Imam Zayd Shakh said Jannah is very vast. It's not only for Afghani people and just the Kandari people. Jannah is humongous. Arduha samawati wal ard. Whatever excuse we can make to have people enter, especially people of that caliber. Somebody who told the Prophet, I'd love to help you if I live to see the day that you're commissioned as a prophet. People ask about Abu Talib. We know what the answer is, but don't ask. It hurts. It would hurt the Prophet ﷺ too. People ask about the mother of the Prophet ﷺ. We don't know. There's actually a difference of opinion regarding this. Who cares? Why discuss it? Why debate? Let the ulama, they can debate, that's fine. But we just hope they all make that sense.
What is one of the several good qualities of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ at home? Like, what was he like at home? Did he help? Like,
كان يحلب شاته ويفلي ثوبه. He took care of domestic chores at home just like any woman would in our understanding.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what they now, Allahu Alam, but like our mothers, just like they take care of the home, the Prophet ﷺ would take care of the home himself.
Okay.
He was involved, he would milk goats, he would repair his clothes, he would sew his clothes, he would do anything in that day and age. So we could translate or interpret that in this day and age to mean washing dishes or doing the laundry or whatever have you. Yes, he was that man. But at the same time, there was no man in history like the Prophet ﷺ. Nobody with that strength and understanding, that intellect and nobility, that graciousness and alayhi salatu wasalam. We're lucky we have such a role model, huh? Is there a dua that the Prophet ﷺ or the prophets recited when they did miracles? No. By the way, so prophets, they carried out miracles. Right. That was to strengthen the message with which they were sent to the people. The prophets were not sent to show people miracles. Musa ﷺ wasn't sent to throw a staff or a stick and turn it into a massive serpent. You know how big that thing was? The bottom of the mouth of that serpent, that snake, was on the ground, and the top of the mouth, its fangs, was over the palace of Fir'aun. In a book called Jalalain, on the commentary of the Quran, in the footnotes there it's written, he went to the washroom, Fir'aun, that day 40 times. After seeing this thing. You don't blame him. Imagine, if we see just a snake, one snake, come inside the masjid now, some of us will go, yeah.
Go loud, nice and loud.
Do prophets have powers?
Yes, they do. Prophets have, so these miraculous feats are called mu'jizat. There's three categories of this stuff. Mu'jizat are these, they're not supernatural. Well, they are supernatural. Now, what does mu'jiza mean? Mu'jiza in Arabic comes from a'jaza. A'jaza means something that leaves you like crippled. So you see this, you're like, oh my. Imagine you see a stick in his hand, or turn into this massive serpent. You're like, imagine, so you're left like in shock. That's what mu'jiza means. So prophets had miracles. Musa alayhi salam had many miracles. Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam had many miracles. Our prophet had the most of these miracles. They didn't recite any dua before they carried out these miracles. Every miracle that they carried out was only carried out, manifested by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What was it? Yes. So there is mu'jizat, the prophets, miracles. Then there is pious people that actually carry out miracles too. Of course, there's pious people, maybe amongst you, I'm not exactly sure, but this is not called a mu'jiza, it's called a karama. And then there's evil, wicked, wretched, bad people that also do these things. They do it with the help of black magic and other things. The Dajjal is the highest level of that. He's going to have a little Jannah with him and a little Jahannam with him. He's going to tell the earth, take out your treasures. He's going to tell the clouds, rain, make it rain. Yeah, the Dajjal is going to be able to do this. And it's all going to happen. But who's given him? Allah has given him the permission and authority to be able to do this, to test the iman of the people. This third level of the bad miracles is called istidraj. So there's mu'jizat, karamat, and istidraj.
So magic is kind of miracle.
Magic is not miraculous. Magic is absolutely haram. Haram.
Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam.
If you can do a karama, if Allah manifests through you a karama, a miracle, that's wonderful and excellent. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're going to Jannah or nothing. No, it's just a little miracle.
I've heard that.
Surah Kahf? Yeah, if you read, excellent. See, this is what we need. We need solutions. We all know problems, we need solutions. Whoever reads Surah Kahf every Friday, عُصِمَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الدَّجَّالِ, they will be saved from the fitna of Dajjal. When Dajjal comes, he's going to wreak havoc. He's going to cause a mess. And he's going to continue to do so until Isa ibn Maryam comes down from the heavens, resting on the wings of two angels, water trickling down his hair, just like it was when he was taken in the heavens. He's going to come to Damascus by the white minaret, and he's going to land, go looking for Dajjal. He's going to see him or strike him. Dajjal is going to dissolve. With Dajjal is going to be an army of 70,000 Jews from Isfahan. And he's going to meet him at a place called Babul Lud. You were there a few weeks ago. And when he sees Dajjal, Dajjal is going to be finished, his army is going to be destroyed. Every creation is going to tell the Muslims, hey, there's a Jew army, kill him. And then eventually they're going to be killed, and then after that, we're going to live in peace for some time. Until another being is going to be unleashed. Allah is going to tell Isa, alayhi salam, the next army that I unleash, you're not going to be able to defeat. And they are? Ya'juj and Ma'juj.
Sheikh, I have a question. You mentioned about magic. What are some of the...
You know what's fine? Okay, go ahead.
I'll just speak now. What are some of the modern day magic things that are easy for people to run into without realizing it's black magic? Like fortune telling and these kind of things.
Okay, so there are people out there. There are people maybe here in Scarborough. A lot of these places are sometimes underground, sometimes they're in homes. You'll see them. They're called psychic readers. They're called palm readers. They're called fortune tellers. They're called lucky charm people. All of these are referred to kahan. Whoever goes, I met over the phone a sister who told me herself, who was going through distress in her life, that before she managed to call some Muslims, she had actually gone to one of these people. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever goes to such a person won't even get to smell Jannah. Forget going near it. They won't even get to smell Jannah. Any one of them. These people do what? They work with jinnat. They work with demons. They have these jinnat that work for them that go up. They go into the skies. Allah refers to them in Surah Safat, chapter number 37. Allah says, فَاتْبَعَهُ شِهَابٌ ثَاقِبٌ. These jinnat, they go up into the heavens trying to collect and steal information from the angels. And the moment they're spotted and seen, there's these rocks or there's these stars that are shot at them, what we call shooting stars. That's actually a jinn that just got caught. That shooting star that you see flying so beautifully in the air, a jinn just got caught trying to eavesdrop and steal information from heaven. So because they're taking it from such a rich source, they actually managed to get like a tiny iota of what's true. But then they take that and they mixed it with 100 fabrications and lies, and they come to their boss on earth, maybe somebody here in Toronto, and they deliver it to them. And their clients then come to them, people that are going through trouble in their life and pain and agony and distress. They go to these people and they ask them, ma'adallah, to help, ma'adallah. You know, they go to them to seek help, ma'adallah, may Allah save us. And unfortunately, they relate to them that what they think is true. Oh no, this is how he said it. Thank you.
Just got another question.
This is, go ahead.
Can miracles happen right now in 2022?
100%, without the shadow of a doubt. Yeah. It depends how you look at it too. For some people, it'll just be like, yeah, that's that. For some people, I mean, it's how you translate something. Okay, let me give you a small example. Yesterday. No, I'm not going to tell you enough. Like, that's for other gatherings. And a gathering like this, somebody messaged me earlier this week and said they were looking for Islamic clothing. They're new Muslims. They didn't know where to find Islamic clothing. I go to the West End once a week to a masjid to do a program there. I told them I'll be back on Friday to come to the masjid, which is yesterday, and inshallah, hopefully I'll have some Islamic clothing for you. I wanted to help him. He asked me, of course, it's my honor to help. However, on Wednesday I went to Los Angeles. Yesterday I came back. I landed at 3, I picked up my car. I couldn't come back to Scarborough to go back to the West End. My program's at 7, so I just stayed there. But I obviously forgot about the Islamic clothing, and I had given that man my word. I said, uh-oh. As I'm heading out from where I picked up the car and dropped it off at my classmate's house, he said, I have with me in my trunk these clothes that I want to give to people. Would you know anybody? Wallahi, if I have Wi-Fi, I'll put him on FaceTime for you now so you can tell you the story himself. He gave me 2 beautiful pairs. They're in my car right now. Some people might just translate this, okay? No, to me that's like, whoa. Allah had my back. I was in a nice place in California. I came back. What about my promise that I made? Allah fulfilled my promise. This is soft. This is yesterday. I'll share with you some other stories. I'm not trying to, I'm the man. Yeah. My friend told me, what did he tell you? No, 40, don't do this. They used to tell us this too. Now they've mellowed it down for 2022 kids. For you, they said if you do this inside of no, I'm not even mentioning it, but he's talking about reading a certain surah of the Holy Quran this many times. They used to say 40 times. You do? Yeah, it's not true at all. Not true at all. Don't do this. You don't want to have anything to do. You know what's terrible? We were supposed to be talking about the Prophet. One person, I think it was me actually, one of the questions was related to something to do with jinns. Now everybody's attention's on that. Don't talk about them. Have nothing to do with them. They don't want to be bothered by you. And trust me, you don't want to be bothered by them. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week, inshallah.
Next week.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, next week.
Get out of here.
We'll see you next week, inshallah. No. I mean, the program's next Friday, inshallah.
Inshallah.
You gonna be here next Friday?
Next Friday is the program.
If bother, he'll not come. If you bother too much, he'll not come. Amin, inshallah. He's tired. I came yesterday, he's tired.
Just one, this is my concern, and I think everyone's concern, especially parents. Normally we ask our mashayikh, our scholars, but I have a child, I have children, now I have some difficulty with tarbiyah. So this is the best time.
Tarbiyah is like upbringing and nourishing them and making sure they're good kids.
So I remember we conducted a program in the masjid for the children, for the upbringing parenting program. And I remember most of the parents, they appreciate that program. And one of the sheikh, mashallah, conducting this kind of workshop of parenting, he said in his bayan that after conducting this workshop of parenting, I realized, and I agree with him, I realized parents, they need more counseling than children.
That's right.
So this is ground reality. Normally it's easy to blame someone, easy to complain, but are we fulfilling our duty as a parent? This is the most important thing. And we are not pushing anyone, forcing anyone. This is the workshop for our children. But in the meantime, we are connected with them. As there is a saying, behind Hassan and Hussein, there is a Fatima and Ali. So if I become Ali and Fatima, they will become Hassan and Hussein. So if you have any questions regarding parenting, hopefully our Sheikh will give you the answers as well for that one. If you have especially the like this, the Sharam Khabaranada, Stapa Samapada, message Nur Tumara Siri, Sheikh experience Lari Baraki, Lokadis Mushkarak Chinasi, Agayo Sabah. I know this is the most difficult department and challenge in this country. He knows him, his teacher and my teacher, Mufti Aslam Saab Dawud Barakatuh. He said to us in the class that back home people, they go to Mashayikh for ta'weez that I have lacking with a risk. My income is very low. Can you give me a ta'weez for that one? But in this country, in the western part of the world, most of the parents, they visit Mashayikh to complain about their children, the difficulty they are facing, the challenges they are facing. So this is reality. This is exist in this part of the world. And sometimes we don't, in front go of these challenges, hiding them, but hiding them, it will become more problematic. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask.
Too smart. These are too
I'm
smart.
not there yet, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, just trying to come up with this. I was wondering if Subhan Islamic Association would be able to support a few sessions of structured parenting classes for anyone who would love to join once a week.
So you are saying that you should conduct a program of parenting?
Like for a few sessions for the people that are interested. I'm pretty sure everyone would be.
So you are suggesting you can tell the answer.
I'll take your suggestion.
Exactly. And he was the one who was, mashallah, trying to get Sheikh